I'm past National President Mona Gunn, and I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video where we will share the results of our strategic planning efforts. Before we begin, I'd like to share a little background information. Over the past several weeks, members of the NEB have conducted several Zoom information sharing sessions with past national presidents, past national officers, and department and chapter leaders. We've created this video presentation to ensure that all members, regardless of their schedules or technical capabilities, will be able to hear the story of the strategic plan directly from the National Executive Board. Our goal for this presentation is to educate AGSM members on the results of the NEB Strategic Planning Project. During the presentation, you'll be hearing from multiple Strategic Planning Committee members, including me, our National Flag Guard, Patty Elliott from North Carolina, our National Banner Guard, Leanne Forsythe from Florida, and current National Executive Board President, Cindy Tatum. You also hear from Jeff Powley. Jeff is an Army veteran, and he understands the experiences of our children. He has worked with us since the fall of last year to help us organize our thoughts and bring our vision of the strategic plan to life. He has spent most of the last 25 years helping large and small companies, including both for-profit and not-for-profit, to adapt and change to accomplish their strategic goals. So with that out of the way, let's go. First, let's set the stage. When I was NEB president, I initiated the strategic planning project in 2019. I thought it would be a good way to assess our progress over the 92 years we've been in existence and determine how we can strengthen the organization and improve what we do. We formed a strategic planning committee of board members with the goal of identifying what AGSM needed to become in order to survive and thrive as we approach the AGSM centennial. 16 plus months later, and after more than 1,000 hours of effort, we've completed the plan. It was approved by the NEB in January 2021, and implementation has begun. But let's back up for a minute and talk about why we need to change at all. First, it's about survival. Membership is declining over time, not because fewer people are eligible, unfortunately, but because we aren't recruiting and retaining potential members at necessary rates. Additionally, we have seen declines in membership due to dissatisfaction. Member surveys reveal dissatisfaction regarding the difficulty finding chapters, forming and maintaining chapters, and quantity and quality of available service and fellowship opportunities. While many still don't know who we are, awareness of our organization brand has diminished. We get more "who are you" questions than ever. We don't normally get invited to the White House for Gold Star Mother's Sunday, but due to the pandemic last year, there was no Memorial Day event, but a Gold Star Mother's Day event at the White House, and we did not get invited, while other organizations did. So we have to change, but wait, there's more. While survival is necessary, more importantly, Our true goal is to find a way to thrive and make the next 100 years better than the first 100 years. The needs of the military community are as great as they have ever been. Perhaps they are even greater now than ever before. We have so much untapped potential in our membership and so much more we could do. Our family sacrifices and our organization's long history of service gives us a unique perspective on how to create and deliver service that matters. So we have to change. I now introduce you to Patty Elliott from the Department of North Carolina and our National Flag Guard, who will continue our presentation.
Thank you, Mona. We need to preserve American Gold Star Mother's identity. So, one of the very first things the Strategic Planning Committee did was to identify the things we are unwilling to change. Those areas include our status as a membership organization, our focus on service to the military community, the opportunity for fellowship among members, our physical presence in the DC area, and our historic organizational structure. What does all that mean? We feel it is critically important to keep our roots as a membership organization so we can retain maximum control over the nature of our service mission. Obviously, we need to retain our focus on service to the military community, including veterans, active duty, military families, and others. Continuing our heroes' mission of service is and always needs to be at the center of who we are. In reinforcing our focus on creating member fellowship opportunities, we must continue to support each other through shared service. Fellowship, along with service, are the defining characteristics of our organization. While our local service is essential, maintaining our physical presence in Washington, D.C. is central to our history and the nation's military service agenda. And finally, it is important that we retain the current organizational structure. Our current decentralized structure of national, department, and chapter allows us to maintain local control and keep our focus on the communities where our members live. I want to pause here and say this. Tonight you're going to hear a lot of information, but what we want to make sure you take away is the Strategic Planning Committee and the National Executive Board wants to emphasize that we always remember our heroes. We wouldn't be here without them and their sacrifice. Also, while our service to others is important, taking care of each other is also one of the important things we need to remember to do. That's why we want to help chapters and departments grow that aspect of your mission. So, having outlined what we have to keep the same before we even begin to consider what changes we're going to make, what are we actually talking about changing? Our National Banner Guard, Leanne Forsyth, is going to give you some information about that.
Thank you, Patty. There are 8 key elements that are at the heart of the strategic plan that will help define the future and how we will work together so that American Gold Star Mothers not only survives but thrives. As the 8 elements appear on the screen before you, I will give you a few details about each one. First, we are going to hire a full-time executive staff. We will begin with an executive director and then, over time, add other staff as our fundraising and revenue streams allow. These roles may include an administrative assistant, communications director, development or fundraising director, and a program services administrator. One of the reasons this is important as we grow is the National Executive Board's time is already at capacity. This staff will allow the members of the NEB to shift their focus from day-to-day operations of the organization to oversight. NEB members will be able to spend more time on direct service and member support. As we all try to create a work-life balance, this shift in NEB responsibilities may allow members who feel they have limited time to contribute the opportunity to consider serving on the national level. Next, we will develop our own branded national service campaigns. These will be initiatives that identify and establish AGSM on a national level. Imagine our own campaign that is synonymous with AGSM, like the Marine Corps is to Toys for Tots or Susan G. Komen to Race for the Cure. These focused national initiatives will be projects supported by a long-term national fundraising campaign and will promote our brand in the marketplace. In conjunction with that, we are going to extend our alliances with other veteran service organizations. We will explore short and long-term opportunities to work with these VSOs to further the outcomes of our service. One of the first important steps is to connect the new executive director with his or her counterparts within partner VSOs to establish and maintain continuity of working relationships with these organizations, many of whom have similar mission areas as AGSM. At the local level, chapters will continue to have control over their operations and mission. Chapters will continue to define their service agendas based on local community needs and opportunities. We know a one-size-fits-all plan will not work across all chapters. Local chapters know best what is needed in their local communities. However, we are going to offer training and support to chapter leaders so that they have help when it comes to things like regulatory compliance, member recruiting and retention, leadership training, and more. We will also create a platform to share ideas and lessons learned, successes and missteps, so that we all benefit from ideas in our sister chapters. In order to make this happen, we want to fundamentally change the fundraising relationship between National and the chapters. We want National to be the primary fundraiser for the entire organization and chapters to apply to National for funds to support their local service campaigns. This will allow chapter members to shift their focus from community fundraising to community service and provide opportunities beyond what your limited local fundraising could support in the past. Finally, we are redesigning and relaunching the Grace Darling Siebold chapter of American Gold Star Mothers to expand opportunities to members who, due to location, health, or other factors, are not able to fully participate in an existing local chapter. One thing COVID has taught us is that we can organize virtually to create both service and fellowship opportunities. We are going to use the virtual platform to connect these members. So, if we do all of these things, what are we going to get? What are the benefits? I will hand it over to our National President, Cindy Tatum, to answer some of these questions.
Thank you, Leanne. All the things that Leanne just described are going to result in the flywheel effect you see on this slide. We will make investments in our brand that will help us attract more donors, that will help fund more service, which will improve our brand, which will attract more donors. Little improvements in each area create momentum that helps the others, the flywheel effect. The benefit case is twofold. The plan provides benefits to both the organization as a whole and for individual members. While I want to focus specifically on the strategic plan's benefits for members, I just want to spend a minute on the benefits to the broader organization first. We are going to make investments to improve our brand, including promoting who we are, our mission, and the impact we make that will help us to get better seats at the table, to help influence VA, DOD, and congressional policies that affect the members of the military community we serve. These brand improvements will also help us reach a wider pool of donors seeking to support our mission. We have already begun this outreach, and several individuals who have never contributed before have stepped up to provide financial support for AGSM. Access to these donors and others like them will allow us to raise more money to fund our service mission. With increased funding, we'll have the opportunity to create larger national campaigns that make an even greater impact. Can you imagine an AGSM branded national campaign to provide coats to veterans in need across the United States, with a note or card from Gold Star mothers in each one? Like I said in the last slide, the benefit case is twofold. Now I want to shift to and discuss the benefits for individual members at the local level. Our stronger brand will aid our efforts to grow and engage membership. As Mona stated earlier, the surveys we sent out to former members in July of last year yielded insight into why we were experiencing some problems with membership retention. The surveys revealed several reasons active members became former members. Two of those reasons were the quantity and quality of available service and fellowship opportunities. With additional funding, we can increase the quantity and quality of the service opportunities available for our members to perform. There will be more opportunities for members to help design local service campaigns that couldn't be imagined previously due to a lack of funding. Additional opportunities to serve will create additional occasions for fellowship, giving all of us an opportunity to strengthen one another. We'll spend less time on low-efficiency local fundraising. As moms, we have all experienced the Little League concession stand approach to fundraising, where you have a big commitment of time and receive very little money for the amount of work. A few years ago, our chapter was asked if we wanted to wrap gifts at a local store to raise funds for a project we were working on to provide Christmas gift items to the local VA home. There was not a set gift wrapping fee. We worked for tips. 3 people spent all day at the store from 9 to 5. We raised $25. We expect far less bureaucratic activity in areas like chapter setup, compliance, and banking to fall on the heads of our department and chapter leaders. So you'll be able to focus on the designing and delivering service with your members. Think about it. Many moms who may have hesitated to step up to a position of more responsibility in the past may be willing to do so without fewer complex issues like compliance to deal with. The good news is this is not just an idea. We have actually been able to achieve quite a bit of progress in some of these goals already. I will now turn this over to Jeff, and we will transition to current and planned strategic plan implementation activities. Take it away, Jeff.
Thanks, Cindy. As Cindy mentioned, the strategic plan isn't just an idea. We've already made quite a bit of progress towards implementation. First, we've established a national compliance model for federal and state registration, state solicitation filings, and accounting and banking. Since most donors confirm a nonprofit's legal status before making sizable donations, we need to ensure that we're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. We're currently designing a compliance workshop for department and chapter presidents and treasurers that we'll conduct in July. Our design greatly reduces the workload for department and chapter leaders, and the days of new chapters not being able to open a bank account will be a thing of the past. As mentioned earlier, we are reinvigorating the virtual chapter and expect to relaunch immediately after the convention. Speaking of convention, at the upcoming convention in Memphis, we're partnering with Cheeriodicals on a service event where convention attendees will create, pack, and deliver care packages for hospitalized vets in the Memphis VA hospital. This event will serve as a test case or a pilot for a larger, potentially national service campaign. We've also created tools to help AGSM raise the funds to support both the Cheeriodicals event and future service campaigns. We've developed a new donor-centric website. You can check it out at AmericanGoldStarMothers.org. An online donation capability powered by Chip-In. If you've seen some of our recent Facebook posts, you might have already seen this. If not, you can press the donate button on the new website to take a look. And we've begun to create a set of stories that we'll use as we approach potential donors around 4 distinct service areas. These service areas include Gold Star Mother economic support, Gold Star Mother social support, and local and national military community service. Finally, we've established a development committee and started recruiting outside supporters to help us find new donors and teach us how to engage them. Announcements regarding the committee's mission and membership will be coming over the next few weeks. We've also identified and have begun to pursue a number of new funding sources, including government, foundation, and corporate grants, former donors, and several other high net worth individuals. So we're making good progress, but there is much more on the radar screen that we haven't even started. In the near future, we hope to begin work in several additional areas. We're going to conduct member surveys to learn what skills, interest, and availability our members have. We're hoping to engage members in strategic plan implementation activities. For example, we know we need to do some grant writing, and we expect to be more active on social media. Let's see if we have members who have these skills and are willing and available to help. In an effort to grow membership, we're going to design new ways to actively recruit eligible moms into the organization. For our donors, we need to redesign the donor experience, including things like consistently and quickly getting back to donors with a thank you after receiving a donation, demonstrating the impact that donor contributions make to our mission after the fact, publicly recognizing donors where appropriate, and more. This will allow us to develop sustained giving over time. We must select our version of Toys for Tots, a branded national campaign, and develop a series of fundraising messages and events specifically designed to fund it year after year. We need to employ marketing principles to help promote and build our brand. Please note this is not about rebranding. Your current brand of service and fellowship, anchored on honoring and preserving the memory of your fallen children, is strong, but too few people know about it. We believe these investments in our brand will greatly diminish the number of "What's a Gold Star Mom?" questions from government leaders and policymakers, military members and veterans, donors, other veteran service organizations, and the public. We'll install new policies and procedures and tools designed to make AGSM operations efficient and effective. These include improvements in financial management, technology, HR, procurement, and more. And finally, we'll begin hiring the staff with the skills and connections to help make this happen. So as you can see, there is quite a bit of work that is still ahead of us. I'd like to turn it back over to Cindy so she can offer a few final words.
Thanks, Jeff. With the release of this video, we've now shared the strategic plan with all AGSM members, and we are excited about the opportunities that the strategic plan presents. During our session today, we've tried to distill 16 months of work into this presentation. Obviously, we weren't able to include all of the details. We expect that you may have questions, so we have scheduled 3 Q&A sessions where members will be able to join with the NEB Strategic Plan Communications team members. These Zoom meetings are scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern Time on June 2nd, 3rd, and 6th, and links to these meetings will follow in a subsequent email. During these sessions, We'll take your questions regarding why we need to change, what changes are included in the plan, and what benefits we plan to deliver. We'll take the questions via chat, and one of the team members will provide answers and share additional related information when possible. If you are unable to join us via Zoom, please feel free to send your questions directly to Mona Gunn at monagunnpnp@goldstarmoms.com. Our primary focus will be to ensure that members understand what is in the plan. There are a number of areas which we won't address in the Q&A sessions. These include discussing the resources we engaged, describing all the options that were considered, getting your feedback on if you think the plan is a good idea, discussing the risk of implementing this kind of change program, and discussing implementation details, including cost. We recognize that these topics are important. However, we want to ensure that everyone has a chance to understand the contents of the plan first. After these Q&A sessions are complete, we will host a separate town hall session to answer questions not covered in the Q&A sessions, including any or all of those previously mentioned. Additionally, members will have an opportunity to make statements of support or opposition. Every member will have the opportunity to have their voice heard. The town hall meeting is scheduled for June 10 at 8 p.m. Eastern. Links to attend this Zoom meeting will follow in a subsequent email. In closing, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation and for being active participants in our organization. We appreciate the time, energy, and passion that you contribute and look forward to seeing you at the Q&A sessions, the Town Hall, and/or the National Convention in Memphis. Thank you.